This is me, Shwetha Srivathsan, a parent at Not That Different, an initiative by Bukosmia. And today we are making a very musical beginning of our series that spotlights autistic teens and young adults who possess certain skills. And I'm very delighted to be starting this series with Kaarthik N, a 12-year-old who I incidentally know since he was a wee 3-year-old boy. Kaarthik is a person with a very mellifluous voice. He's 12 years old and he goes to Ishanya India Foundation in Bangalore. He's very passionate about music. His journey in the space of music began when he was all of 7 years old. He started participating in Kalangana, an event organized by IRC. He also trains at the Shankar Mahadevan Academy and has won multiple prizes in different genres of singing. Kaarthik can sing in 5 languages and in 3 genres: Carnatic, Western, and film music. Some of his accolades include first prize in music in the vocal category across many years at Kalangana, and this I'm talking about a series of 6 years. First prize in singing category at the Snehaspurti Samiti competition in 2022. First place in Spardha Inter-School Music Competition in 2022. Special prize in Carnatic Music Competition conducted by Tyagaraja Gana Sabha. Best Singer Award in the Adhyatma event in 2022 conducted by IRC, and Happiness is Khushi. So now, without much ado, this is Kaarthik for you.
In the year 2011 came a bundle of joy in our life, Kaarthik. Kaarthik is a cheerful child with a variety of interests like nature, sports, painting, acting, and so on, but soon realized his passion towards music.
Kaarthik, is Kaarthik there?
Yes.
Hi Kaarthik, how are you?
Shankar Mahadevan uncle, I am
Thank
very
you.
happy to see you. I have passed SA exam.
A big round of applause to Kaarthik.
Thank,
Kaarthik,
thank
you know you sang so beautifully, Kaarthik.
In the last 3 years, he has won number of accolades. He has his own YouTube channel.
Now, wasn't that truly melodious? And I'm delighted to have with me here Priya, Kaarthik's mother, who's now going to take us through Kaarthik's journey with music and also throw a bit of light on what's there ahead for Kaarthik. Hi, Priya. Welcome to Not That Different, and so happy to have you here.
Thank you so much, Shwetha. Thank you. Good morning, and thank you for this lovely opportunity. So happy to see Kaarthik and his walkthrough. So happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Well, the feelings mutual. So, yeah, now I've known Kaarthik since he was a wee 3-year-old boy, and it cockles my heart to see him accomplish so much over these years. So, could you just walk us through his journey with music? More specifically, as a parent of an autistic child, how did you figure out that this is where Kaarthik's strengths are? And Kaarthik is passionate and is interested in music. So could you just take us through that journey?
Sure, yes. So I'll start from the age when Kaarthik was nearly 5 years old. So that's when it kind of started moving in. So we enrolled him in Candour International School, a mainstream setup. And from his early childhood, there was one pattern that we were observing. He used to always keep humming songs. So any music would kind of catch his attention. He used to hum songs and he used to pick up words that were presented in a musical form. So that pattern we've been observing right from a very young age of 3+. And when he was in Candour with their SEN team, we had discussed this particular pattern. And we had talked about his interest likely to be somewhere around music. with that input, then they kind of put him onto a group choir, school choir, who were preparing for the annual day, coming up school annual day, and they were teaching a song, What a Wonderful World. That was a song that they were teaching for the school choir group, and he was also part of it. And this song caught his attention. So every day he used to come back from school and used to keep humming the song, the tune, and pick up words from it, whereas the same was not happening on the academic point. So that was something which we were able to differentiate very clearly as to what caught his attention. And to encourage him further, we got in a small mic set at home. We used to play the karaoke track of this song. He used to listen to it, pick up the lyrics from the song, and play along with it. So that's how. And he also was part of the school choir, singing this song on their annual day. So that was the first spark that we saw in him. And then during one day, like one of my friends, she registered me for, she registered Kaarthik for an event called Kalangana. I didn't know about Kalangana at that point in time, even he was 6. So she registered him. She said it's a yearly talent festival that happens conducted by IRC, and she registered him for vocal category. And she said, give it a try, nothing to lose. So just take him and then see how he's able to handle it. And to our surprise, we knew only that song. He was only prepared for that one song because that was one that he kept hearing, and then he also knew the lyrics. And then we said, okay, you sing that song. And he was singing the song so confidently on stage, he didn't want me to hold the mic as well. And that was the first time I saw him doing something independently all by himself. Like otherwise, there used to be a lot of trigger and prompt, but this end to end, he managed it and he sang it completely without any support, all by himself. And so that was like a very pleasant surprise for us. It was like a Karate Kid moment for us, an eye opener to see what is. And we saw a different Karthik on stage that day. And he also got a special prize. Post the event, he got a special prize as well. So that was the first spark that we saw, and he was very happy to get onto the stage and getting the prize. It was a totally new experience for him, trying to understand what is all this thing of
So much of
competition going on.
Everybody's looking at me, everybody's praising me. I mean, who doesn't like to be praised?
Yes, so that was a wonderful experience, and he understood what is this all about. Till then, he didn't know what is a competition itself. So that was the very first experience. Now, probably if you can play the video.
Sure.
And also there is a picture where he's on stage collecting the prize from IRC team. First spark that we saw in him, and having this interest, we wanted to bring a structure to this interest that he has. And then we got to know about Shankar Mahadevan Academy from a couple of other parents, and we enrolled him in Shankar Mahadevan Academy 5 years before in Carnatic vocal category. So that was a start of a proper music journey, and they have a very structured curriculum starting from the basic level. So that has been working very well with Kaarthik. His music interest got a particular shape, and with a structured curriculum. And Mr. Arun from Shankar Mahadevan Academy has been very crucial, because they have a lot of understanding towards his sensory needs and is able to tap his potential and take it in a very structured manner. So that's been a very blessing for Kaarthik to be in right hands on the musical front from a vocal category. And so while he was in Candour, he used to go to Brindavan Education Trust for remedial classes in the evening. So there again, the team headed by Ms. Jayashree ma'am and Anita ma'am, they have played a very, very crucial and vital role in building his confidence And they gave a lot of stage opportunities to him to sing invocation during their annual days and any special occasions, Christmas or Diwali, giving a lot of stage exposures, and they encouraged his singing interest a lot. And overall, he started getting more confidence on stage, and could see Karthik becoming a very happier child. This phase was a big transformation for Karthik, with Shankar Mahadevan Academy, with Candour, and with Vrindavan Remedial support team. Was a very big transformation, because overall, one is the music journey. He's learning structured music, and parallelly, he was getting a lot of opportunities to showcase his talent. So that he became a very happy child. That was a wonderful phase that we saw in Karthik's journey. And then couple of years back, almost 3 years before, we moved Karthik to Ishanya India Foundation. And there again, the association has been working wonderfully with Karthik, because they believe in a strength-based model. They work based on the child's strength, and parallelly along with that, they work on the areas of improvement. So that approach has been working very well with him. And the opportunities that he's been getting, the stage exposure, the opportunities are amazing. And in fact, last year during their annual day, that was the first time we tried a combination of singing and keyboard together, because parallelly, while he was in Shankar Mahadevan Academy learning vocals, he also started showing interest in keyboard. So then we put him onto an online class with Mr. Preetham for keyboard as well. So he's learning both vocal and keyboard. And last year during the annual day event in Ishanya India Foundation, that was the first time he did a combination of singing and a keyboard piece. And it was entirely handled by the team of teachers with Karthik, headed by Swati ma'am. It worked amazingly well. They could handle his sensory issues and could, handle him so well. That was again another very pleasant surprise, where we saw him on stage doing singing and a keyboard together. So
Which
that
I think
was
requires a
another
lot of coordination, right? That's not very
lot
easy
of
to do.
coordination.
I mean, there are
Yes,
so
yes.
many factors in play here, right? One is the coordination that's needed to do singing and keyboard together. The second is the anxiety of having to perform in front of an audience. And third is all the sensory inputs that this little child, who is sensorially different, is getting from, the environment, a new auditorium, probably the lights, they are darker, they are brighter, the audience, the noise, the speakers. And I think the fact that he has sailed through this is amazing. I mean, it's big hope for, all parents who are listening in today. So, yeah.
So true. In fact, this event, another pleasant surprise was we were nowhere in the picture. It was entirely handled by set of teachers headed by Swati ma'am with Karthik. And so that's another key message that I got from this experience was, which Ishanya very strongly, they keep telling us also, to build independence in his skill. So, so from this experience, consciously last year, I don't accompany him on stage. I just step back and he's handling it all by himself. So that's another key message that I got from Ishanya as to how do we build independence in their skills so that it becomes a meaningful engagement. And also we don't, yes, that
And
builds in
slowly,
a lot of
the bond
confidence.
has to, it has to, I mean, it's he who is singing, right? And slowly, I think it's a process, but we have to, kind of fade into the background. It's a process, but eventually the hope is that it happens.
Yes, yes. And sometimes, I think I was more anxious than him, because once I stepped back, he was anyways there and he was doing it. So it was more of my anxiety that I wanted to be there.
We
So,
realize that, yes. I mean, we don't know who's more anxious, the child or us. So, and maybe, we are passing on our anxieties to them as well. So, I mean, yeah, that's always subject to debate. So,
So
yes.
true. So that's another key learning that we got from Ishanya, and that association has been working very well with Karthik, because it's more building on his strength and giving him more opportunities in the right direction. So that so this is more from the schooling part. Now coming back to his music class, he's been with Shankar Mahadevan Academy for the last 5 years, and he's been learning keyboard from Mr. Preetham last 3 years. So in Shankar Mahadevan Academy, they have this practice of very often online programs, and they have an annual event which is an offline event where Shankarji himself comes and talks to his students, and he sees the students perform, and that's an amazing experience. And Karthik is very fond of Shankarji, so he looks forward for this event. And year on year, again, they have this thing where last year he was in a group, an instrument group, a medley with the guitar and keyboard, and that again involved a lot of coordination because he has to know when he has to play his part, and waiting for the guitar piece to get over, and a team of eight, 9 students. So that combination, we wanted to give a try, a medley, and that also worked very well with the guidance of teachers from the academy. So
Amazing thing, right? Taking turns, waiting for your turn. These are skills we try to ingrain in our autistic children from a very young age. But then we are consciously doing it verbally. We are saying, wait for your turn, wait for your turn. I mean, what's the motivation for the child to do it? But when a child or an adolescent is put in a space, where he has to do it, where he sees some meaning to doing it, and where he sees motivation, I think the transition happens so organically and so naturally, right? Without us putting a plan and saying, wait for your turn, Karthik, not your turn, sit down, wait for your turn. You don't have to do it. I mean, it just follows. It follows very organically when they see meaning in it, and it is something that, is building on their own strengths. So yeah, that's I think, amazing. Yeah.
Yes, so true. And another thing from the academy where they wanted to try out was, since he has been learning Carnatic vocal and he is aware of keyboard as well. So from Mr. Preetham, he is learning all the Hindi songs because he has a lot of interest towards music, film songs as well. But parallelly from the academy, since he knows keyboard, let's ask him to try Carnatic pieces in keyboard. And there again, there was another event that came up from the academy where he has played the Carnatic song Raravenu Gopabala on keyboard all by himself.
Karthik will play a Carnatic Swarajati on keyboard. The Swarajati is Raravenu in Raga Bilahari and in Aditala. Over to you, Karthik. All the best. That was a fantastic performance, Karthik. Thank you so much.
So that is another creative piece that they wanted to introduce to see how he is able to translate one form into another instrument, and then bring that music all together, being creative about it. So that again worked well. So all these are another things that we keep trying to bring about more creativity and new opportunities with the combination of keyboard and voice to take it to a different level. So that's about his music class. Now, going forward, talking about other organizations who've been very crucial in helping with his music interest. One is again the year-on-year Kalangana event, which has been happening where it's an amazing platform for our children because they help them to showcase their talents, and so that has been participating in the last 6 years, conducted by IRC. So that's one very yearly event that he looks forward for eagerly because now he's aware of this calendar, and also he asks which month is Kalangana. And another beauty part was he starts preparing himself. Like, we let him choose the song or choose his performance. If it's going to be keyboard, he chooses his song that he wants to play. Likewise, so giving more independence, so that again is more a life skill of choosing your, so you take ownership. Yes. So that's the thing.
Think of our viewers, IRC's Information and Resource Center of the Sringeri Sharada Pita. This is based in Bangalore, in Baswangudi, Bangalore, and Kalangana is the annual event that they organize every year. So children from a lot of different centers for differential needs, across, and I believe not just across Bangalore, but even outside of Bangalore are eligible, and they do come and participate. So yeah. Please do. Sorry, please go ahead. I just wanted people to know.
Sure. Thank you so much. Yes. And so coming back, IRC and then Mitra for Life. headed by Dr. Madhuri, again is a wonderful organization because they create a lot of opportunities where our children get to sing open mic events more related to special occasions like Diwali, Dasara. They conduct events, so they get again a stage to perform, showcase their talents in front of an audience. So that's again a big opportunity and encouragement for our children. And likewise, Indian Music Experience along with Swarakshema team. There, they conduct open mic events very often, even monthly. They have the regular series happening. And for our children, they conduct a lot of open mic events. So that again has given a lot of exposure to Kaarthik and building his stage experience. So all these teams have been very crucial in giving opportunities to Kaarthik and helping him shape his music journey. So it's been a collective teamwork with right people coming in at right times and then taking it forward.
Yeah,
So
that I think
that's
is
just
that I think is a very important messaging, right? Oftentimes as parents, we believe that, our child can do certain things, but one reality of autism is that what they do in one environment may not necessarily get generalized in another environment, or they may require some time before, or some, amount of structuring before it can get generalized into another environment. But then if we are considering, a skill as as something that, can meaningfully engage them growing up, they should be able to have the skill to, do the same thing across environments, right? And that process is a teamwork, which I think is a very key understanding. As a parent, I may believe that my child is at this level. My child's educator may believe that, my child is at this level. But at the end of the day, it's a teamwork where we have to find that meeting point. Oftentimes, I think a lot of parents just go around shopping for therapy centers, go around shopping for options, because, somewhere between the parent and the therapist, I think they are not able to come to a certain, I don't know, meeting point. But at the end of the day, I think what really works for children is that it should be a teamwork. They should get different perspectives and they should be able to generalize their skills across different environments. So yeah, that for me, is a very key takeaway from Karthik's journey.
yes, definitely. So true.
So there's another thing, that I kind of wanted to touch base with you now. As we are all aware, right, autism, though it's a very wide spectrum, the one common thing across the spectrum is the sensory differences. So our autistic children have a lot of sensory differences, and this impacts the way they perceive the world and impacts the way they interact with everybody. So for a child who has to go and perform in front of an audience, right, while stage fright is a common thing across neurotypicals and neurodivergence, what it means and how it translates into, how it can feel sensorially for a child with autism is very different. So what are some of the strategies that you use, or do you prepare Karthik before every stage performance? Because going out there and performing in front of a huge audience in a new place clearly is no mean feat. So is there something that you do kind of to, prepare him for it?
Sure. Yes. So one is definitely he has a lot of uh, stage anxiety and social anxiety. So, and in fact, post COVID, it kind of increased because the 2 years gap. So he was totally out of people touch and getting back to stage. Initially, at least he was going on with the regular performance more at a school level. But then post COVID, when we wanted to take him to a next level, the stage fear was quite a lot, and again social anxiety. So now, but with the understanding of calendar, so and the days, and with that pattern, we kind of prepare him well in advance. So saying that on so and so date or so and so month there's an event coming up, and we give him the freedom of choosing, given the context of the event, what is it that he wants to perform. So that we let him choose the piece that he wants to. And then there's a lot of mock drill. So we get into a lot of practice, mock drill. And sometimes we used to have audience as well of, me,
That's
my
right.
mother-in-law, my mother. So my sister and family all sitting in front of him as if, we are the audience, and then he
Looking
gets
at
to
him.
perform. So a lot of mock drill. Yes, looking at him, and then how is he able to handle when people are. So we used to get into that role plays. And after any performance, there's always a reinforcement, an edible reinforcement. Could be either a donut or a cake. So these are his biggest reinforcements. So, and another thing is, we record the videos and then we play it back to him. So he gets to see the visual feedback. He gets to see the feedback more than we discussing about it, because when we discuss about it, if it goes very well, yes, but there are same days when things don't go as planned. And when we discuss about it, it kind of, we realized it became very stressful for him. And music, we are looking at him as a therapy, because overall he's very happy when he's with music. That's how this whole journey started, of bringing happiness to Karthik, and he's very happy, and now that is getting into a meaningful engagement. So but when stress comes in, when he gets under pressure or stress, the whole purpose gets diluted, and he wasn't enjoying what he was doing. So now if it goes fine, well, if it doesn't also, we just take it as a phase and then keep moving forward. But he gets to see the video, and then he'll point out. He said, Karthik did this, Karthik, I did this, or Karthik did this. So that's the kind of feedback that he tells to himself. And I think with all this, he's been able to bring in more regulation. He's able to handle the nuances and the yes, and slowly coming out of it. But again, there are days when even we don't know what went.
Triggers,
What worked and what
Right.
yes, what triggered. But overall, now we've learned it to take it as a phase and then keep going as part of his journey. Yes. So
Pretty much like
these are some of
everything else, right? I mean, pretty much like everything else. There are days in school when they are superly regulated. There are days in school they meet the expectations, and there are a few days in school when they are all over the place. So I think it kind of extends into everything that they do, right? I mean, if it did,
absolutely.
then I think the autism would be gone, but that's sadly not to be. So, yeah.
Yes, so true. Yes. So that's how we've been able to handle him. Post-COVID, yes, there were difficult times, especially the 2 years gap took some time for him to get back onto stage and start facing people. But now with repeated exposure, with continuous exposure, I think that has also been very vital. So every now and then, we keep looking forward for opportunities. We keep, looking forward for opportunities, even with Indian Music Experience, Mitra for Life. So we keep looking for opportunities and keep taking him to as many. And recently, we've also brought him onto our apartment events. Earlier, he wouldn't, because performing in front of a known crowd sometimes becomes more, he gets into more anxiety. Yes, unknown crowd is different, but with known crowd, with known neighbors and all, he was a little reluctant. But now last year, that was another conscious effort of taking him for all our apartment events and making him perform a singing or a keyboard piece. So that again is helping to build his confidence and bringing in a lot of awareness about autism to the society as well, because this is
That's
his living
very
place.
important, right? See, events like
Yes.
Kalangana, events like IRC or Mitra for Life, 90% of the audience that comes in is aware about special needs, is aware about autism, and would be, I think, less curious and more forgiving if, God forbid, something happens. But it's the larger society, right? People who have absolutely no connection, with autism, except they see an autistic child in the left, they see an autistic child in the neighborhood. But if we talk of true inclusion, I think it's the larger society that needs to be aware. And I think it's amazing that he gets these opportunities, because that, I believe, is the only way that the larger society can ever be aware. Right. So I think that's kind of
that was yes. In fact, that was one of our key objective of trying to position him or bring him into our community, because he's living here, and so people get to see him very often. He also greets a lot of them, but somewhere the potential as such was never known. So that was one of the key thing that we've been able to manage to do this year.
Yes. See, just to kind of share a snippet. So we have these annual events in our apartment, and this year's annual events had put up some of Aditi's books. Well, through social media, most of them, are aware. The ones who weren't aware were like, picked it up, and it kind of made them take a step back and think about what is autism. Right? They only know Aditi to the extent that they've seen her, in the lift, they've seen her walking, and they've seen her things. And then, they know autism because of certain, very preconceived stereotype notions that media tends to portray, all of which is not entirely true all the time, right? And then they pick up a book and then they try to associate it with their own knowledge of autism, and they realize that it's very inadequate. So, I think that's kind of a great platform. You kind of have to begin with where you're living if you have an opportunity for that. So that's I think.
Yes.
So what's next for Kaarthik the singer?
So now, the one is we definitely want to keep focusing more on his skills and make it more strong, because that's going to be foundation for all this. So continue. They have a very structured curriculum from the Shankar Mahadevan Academy on Carnatic vocals with a lot of exams. So he's now cleared the SA exam, then they have the re-exam. So there's a very clear path. And likewise, even on instrument from Mr. Preetham, he has a very clear structure. So building on his skills, parallelly keep giving him more exposure, taking him to more of inclusion. I mean, where it's an inclusive setup.
Yes.
So because he gets to see how others perform in a typical scenario. So like the Indian Music Experience monthly open mic events, they conducted for the larger audience, for the general team. So that's something of taking him to more inclusive setups and making him perform there, getting to see how others perform. So overall, in depth into music. So and likewise with parallelly with the other learning as well, of so that it becomes a combination.
Yes, a very balanced
That's
thing.
the
There is some amount of, functional academics that needs to happen. You cannot say tata bye bye, don't read, don't write also, right? There's some amount of basic, functional academics that needs to happen. So it was wonderful talking to you today, Priya. Thank you so much for
Thank you
taking
so much.
time off to do this. And, like I've mentioned even before, to see Kaarthik achieve so much personally also for me, it feels amazing because I've seen him since when he was a 3-year-old kid. So here's wishing Kaarthik all the best, and do keep us tuned
Thank
about
you so much.
all his performances. And we'll also be sharing the link of his YouTube channel in our social media and in the description of this program, so more people can kind of tune in and listen to Kaarthik. Thank you so much for today, Priya.
Thank you so much. It's been a wonderful opportunity. While I got a chance to have a walkthrough on Karthik's journey, I think there's a wonderful platform for parents like me to hear inspiring experiences from parents like you, Shwetha. So a lot to learn.
No, I think
So
we are in this journey
mutual
together.
learning.
No, I think we are in this journey together. I suppose, the common theme being that there is really no defined path for our autistic children. So we are trying. So that's all. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
So inspiring. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.